Hello, treasures. It's Holly with Two Magpies Treasures back with you again. Just want to say a happy Thanksgiving to all of our American friends. I'm planning on having this uploaded on Thanksgiving Day, so hopefully you are having a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and friends and eating lots of turkey and stuffing and falling asleep in front of the TV, just as it should be. So I thought, it's a day for being thankful. So I thought I would tell you a couple things I'm thankful for. I don't want to get too mushy, but I am extremely thankful for my family. My husband, Paul, is absolutely amazing. And little backstory, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer 2.5 years ago. So I feel incredibly, incredibly thankful that he is still here with us and doing fairly well. It could be much worse, so I'm incredibly thankful that he is here. I'm thankful for the NHS that has taken such good care of him, and it's not a financial burden for us. You guys know, some of you have asked me in the comments of the previous video, what are you in the UK or America? You say you're UK, but you sound American. I am American. You can tell by the accent, not getting away with that, am I? But I've lived in the UK for the past 12 years, and I am incredibly thankful for the NHS. If we were in America and Paul was diagnosed with terminal cancer, it doesn't even bear thinking about. So I'm thankful that Paul is still here. I'm thankful for the NHS for looking after him and for, looking after me as well. And I'm thankful for my lovely children. I have a 20-year-old. I don't know how that happened. She was just, 7 or 8 a day ago. But I have an amazing, beautiful, intelligent 20-year-old daughter. And I have a funny, loving mama's boy, 13-year-old son. And I am so incredibly thankful for both of them. They're such good kids. And last thing, I said, I don't want to get too mushy, but I'm incredibly thankful not only for Paul, but for his mom, who I called Mom. And guys, she really did feel like my own mother, and she treated me like I was her own child. She was so, so good to me, and she taught me everything I know about sewing. Now, granted, that's not a great deal, but she was a great seamstress and so patient with me and always encouraging me with not just sewing, but all of my crafts. And sadly, we lost her just over 2 weeks ago, actually, again to cancer. Horrible, horrible stuff. But I am incredibly thankful that I got the chance to know her and that she loved me and loved my kids just like we were her own. Let's move on to something lighter now. I am so incredibly thankful for you guys. I started this channel not even a week ago, and I already have over 200 subscribers as I'm recording this right now, and that is in thanks to Miss Tracy Fox. Tracy, I love you. I adore you. I always knew that you were an amazing, kind, lovely person, and you're an absolute angel. So thank you so much. I couldn't have gotten this far, especially not this far this fast, without your help. So thank you so much. All right, guys, enough with the waffling. Let's get on to our project for today. So as it's Thanksgiving, I thought I would teach you how to make a hand turkey. Just kidding. Just kidding. Now see, all the non-Americans are wondering, what on earth is she talking about? Every American kid at some point in school has made a hand turkey. Trace around the hand, decorate it. Anyway, it's definitely a Thanksgiving tradition for school kids. All right, no, seriously, what we're going to do is make some flowers. These flowers are simply made from circles. And I keep a little box of different size circles cut out to make these flowers with. And you know, there are other things you can make with them. And these ones are just book pages. Today, I've only ever done them with book pages before, but I thought, actually, you know, I had paper left over from making Mr. Turkey here. And I thought, well, I wonder if the colored paper would work as well as the book pages. So this is just a sort of 80 GSM copy paper sort of weight. So I tried some of that, and you know, it works okay. I still prefer the book pages, and not all Not all book pages are created equal. I found some book pages that just didn't want to crinkle properly. And you certainly don't want any glossy pages, I don't think. I don't think those would work very well. They're not going to absorb the water the way you would want them to, the way you need them to. So my favorite book pages have been some of these old ones. This is probably from, I don't know, I think it's like a 1980s edition or something of Alice in Wonderland, or actually it's the complete works of Lewis Carroll. But these pages here are fantastic. They really absorb the water and act the way we need them to do this. But you know, you might just have to play around, experiment a little bit with some book pages to get what you need. So these are what we're going to make, and these are good for, you can, you know, decorate your journal pages. Lost my train of thought there. Journal pages, they, you know, since they are, this one's not very flat, but since they are generally, you know, fairly flat, they can easily go in your journal without bulking it up too much. You can put it on a journal page, on a pocket, wherever you need a little interest. And I even decorated this journal cover with, I've got one of them here along with a couple of other flowers, but that's one of my little book page flowers right there with a tiny little flower in the center of it. So you can, you know, do a whole lot with these little flowers. So let's get going and make a few of these. Move this out of the way. So what you want, I used my die cutting machine to do these. I have a set of nesting circle dies that are, you know, really helpful. But if you don't have the circle dies, no worries. You can use, give me a moment. Should have had these on my desk. You can use your punches if you have punches of different sizes, look at that monster. Isn't that a huge one? It's a 3-inch hole punch. Wow. Or circle punch, rather. Well, to be honest, it does make a hole, doesn't it? But you can use your punches, or you can just freehand it, because the circles don't have to be perfect. I mean, look, they're all scrunched up, so if your circle's not a perfect circle, nobody's going to be able to tell anyway, are they? So what you want is just some different sizes. I'm trying to pick out a few different sizes here, and you can put as many layers as you want to. These actually have quite a few layers, especially this one. That's a lot of different layers there, isn't it? But you don't have to make a lot of layers. This one only have 3 layers there. It's entirely up to you, and you can make the flowers as large or as small as you want to. You've got a lot of different things to play with doing these flowers. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is wet your paper. And I'm just going to turn it over because we want to get it nicely wet. Ooh, I've got 2 pages there. Now, see, this one is a different book, and I'm not sure how well it'll do. We'll see. Different pages do different things. All right, now the next thing you want to do for this next step, you may or may not want to have some gloves. You've probably already noticed my lovely fingers. I've not actually murdered anyone or done anything horrible. I've just been making flowers, book page flowers. And I've been using my Dilutions ink spray. Now, you might care about your manicure, but me, I'm not too worried about it, even though I do have to go do the shopping when I finish here. I'll probably get some funny looks, but hey ho, I'm a crafter, an artist. What you gonna do? So you might want to wear gloves. You can use different things. You don't have to have the Dilutions ink spray. You don't have to have any sort of ink spray. But this is what I'm using. This is what I prefer to use. You could, ooh, my word, I hope you can see how bright that is. Oh, love it. You could use your distress ink, oh my goodness, or distress oxides. What am I doing today, guys? I can't think. If you're going to use something like your distress ink or your distress oxides, or you could even use watercolor markers. If you were going to use one of those things, I would suggest that you use those before you spray with the water, and then the water can sort of activate that ink. But with the ink spray, I usually wet them before I put the color on. I hope that makes sense. Move these out of the way a little bit. I'm mixing my colors up, but that is okay. Might have some tie-dyed flowers. Oh, what else do I want? Oh, let's go for a bit of purple. I love some purple. Ooh. And guys, I do just want to say sorry for the glare, but for obvious reasons, I'm using my glass mat today. So, and I'm turning them over to make sure that I've got coverage on both sides. Make sure I'm happy with what I've got here. Oh, look, isn't that pretty? Now, the next step is going to be to scrunch these up. Now, I'm going to start with the lighter sort of colors. That's got more than one. Okay, that's all right. Got a 2-for-1 there. I'm going to start with the lighter colors just so I don't say transfer the purple onto the yellow. That's it. Squishy, squishy. Now, you see how they're popping back out. Okay, they're not squishing, terribly well there, are they? But I'll tell you, what works really well is if I always squish them when they're, wet anyway. But they get their best sort of shape if they're a bit drier when you squish them. So I'm just putting these in a bit of paper towel, kitchen roll, and squishing them up in that just to absorb some of that extra liquid and dry them out a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. We've got the pink and the yellow, sort of orangey, sort of a coral kind of color, isn't it? Oh, that's really pretty. I like that. All right, so now they feel a lot drier. So now they will hold the squish a little bit better. So just really squish them up. Take out your aggressions. Just don't rip them. Okay. Do the pink. You can actually just let them sit and dry a little bit on their own and then do your squishing up. Or alternatively, you can use your heat gun and dry them a bit. I'm straightening it out so I can squish it back up. What am I like? All right. Now, is that one? This one's not staying squished up very well, and I wonder if that was... No, that's not the page. That was a different book. Don't know where that one's gone. It's here somewhere. All right. So I am going to let those dry, and I'll come back to you once those are drier, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, we're back. These are not completely dry, but that is for a reason. I wanted to show you one of the options for putting these together. So these are still damp, and I'm just straightening them out a bit. Figure out what I want in what order. Doesn't just blend in too much. Now, when you are unwadding these, I don't even know what, unscrunching them. There we go. When you're unscrunching these, do be careful because, it's wet paper. Wet paper tears easily. And that also, reminds me to tell you, you don't want your paper to be too terribly thin. Otherwise, it's just going to disintegrate. So, sort of book page sort of weight or sort of 80 GSM, copy paper. that's a good sort of weight to go with. I've not actually tried it with heavier paper, but I imagine, that might be a little tricky to get it, pliable enough. So, your book pages and copy paper are, great weight to them. So, all right, I like that color combination. So, when they are still damp, you can actually use a brad. And I realized when I was editing that first video that I kept saying brad instead of eyelet. But hey ho. You all know what I meant anyway, didn't you? So we are going to use brads today. No eyelets, brads. So let's see, what do I think? Oh, that's cute, isn't it? A little pearlescent one. Or I wonder. I took a few out because I didn't want you to suffer with the crinkling plastic, but I wasn't satisfied with that selection. What do we want? Oh, you know what? Oh no, that orange blends in, doesn't it? Could put a little flower in the center of the flower. If I can find a color that I'm happy with. About, oh, come off there. Not so sure about that. What else do I have over here? Do you know what? I think I'll just go with one of these little white pearls. Yeah, let's try it. So the reason, obviously we want to do this while these are still damp is the brad will just go right through it, no problem. She says no problem and then struggles with it. I just don't want to rip it is all. All right. What do we think? It's okay, isn't it? So let's open out our little brad there. All right, so now we have them all connected and we can squish our petals. Just form those petals however you want. And as this gets a little bit drier, not completely dry, but as it gets a little bit drier, you can form all your wrinkles and everything a little bit better. It's still pretty damp right now, but I wanted to be able to get that brad through it. So here is actually one that I did earlier with the brad. So you can see, once it got a bit drier, I was able to form all those nice wrinkles and everything a bit better. So you just have to play with it. It's fun. You get to feel like a little kid. Even if you're not making a hand turkey, you get to play with the paper. Dye your fingers if you want. And nobody's going to tell you off. Well, I don't think anybody will anyway. Okay, so that's what we can do while they're still damp. Once they get dry, it's a little bit harder to put the brad through. So what I do is I use my glue. Now, when I first made these, and I've lost the glue. Can you believe it? I can. I've lost the glue that I wanted to show you. Unbelievable. Oh well, I'm sure it will jump up and bite me probably right after I turn the camera off. just my luck. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Oh, well. I was going to show you. Oh, there it is. Excellent. See, just as soon as I gave up. I was going to show you this Dove Craft Ultimate Craft Glue. Now, this is what I made my first ones with when I first started making them. So this actually came from the pound store. So it is cheap. And, you know, when I bought it, I was kind of like, well, I don't know how good it's going to be, but it's a pound, so I'll give it a try. And this is actually a solvent-based glue. It's clear drying acrylic glue. And it actually is pretty good. I can't really find fault with it. I've not used it on a whole lot of craft projects, but it's what I've always used for these flowers. But in the spirit of trying new things and not giving up on it, today I'm going to try the Art Glitter Glue. I promised some of you guys that I wouldn't give up on it yet. Oh my days. I might not be able to use it today because my needle is stuck in there. The top, the little ball, is completely gone now. Just popped off the needle. So I'm not getting that open until I have some pliers and goodness knows what. So I'm not using Art Glitter Glue today. Surprise, surprise. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the Dove Craft, if that's not glued shut. All right, so these are dry. They are completely nice and dry. I did these several hours ago, actually. And I wanted to do these reds to go in my Christmas journal. Yes, I did mention earlier that you could use your Distress Oxides or watercolor markers, you know, different things. And I actually did try this one. I made with Distress Oxide. Trying to remember the color that I used. I can't remember the color now. Cranberries, Festive Cranberries, I think is what it's called. This one was Distress Oxide ink, not the spray. I just used my little dauber thing to put it on and then sprayed it with water. And this one I did with a marker, a watercolor marker, and then sprayed the water on. So you can see the difference. And this was the Dilutions spray. Some of the, what is that, Postbox Red Dilutions. So you can see the different colors, the different shades that it gives you. All right, so let's stick this puppy together. I'm just putting a little glob right in the center. Putting each layer down. I do quite like this glue, and it is cheap. And this one is from the colored copy paper. That one isn't actually. I think I want my book page to be my topmost piece. Oh, now you can't even see that, but oh well. Oh well. All right, so that's pretty cute, right? But we're missing sort of the decorative sort of element in the middle, aren't we? Not to fear. We have all sorts of options. We've got all sorts of little acrylic things in there. Little acrylic gems. I have some let's see, sticky pearls, adhesive pearls and gems. Oh, I like these. Aren't those pretty? So it's just a matter of choosing what I think would be nice in there. So let's audition one of these. Oh, and they're kind of hard to get off the backing. There we go. What do we... Oh, I really like that. I like that a lot. That looks well fancy, doesn't it? Let's just see. Oh, that's cute too. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Now I'm having a hard time deciding that or that. Now they're stuck together. I think for this one, I'm going to go with the simple little red gem. Yeah. Certainly going to have to make more of these so I can use that pretty embellishment in the center. Gosh, look at my fingers. That is, that is awful. So I do wholeheartedly recommend gloves unless, you know, you want to be really colorful. There's nothing wrong with colorful though, is there? Oh, I think that looks really pretty, doesn't it? You've got those different shades of red and our little red shiny gem. Very nice. And another thing you can do to sort of zhuzh that up, you can never go wrong with a little bit of gold. So this is just some gold acrylic paint. I'll get it over here where you can see what I'm doing. Just putting a little bit on my mat. Water it down a bit. Water it down quite a bit so it splatters. Just splatter a bit of gold paint. And that's just my luck, not splattering very well. What a surprise. Okay, of course it's not working great on camera. You know, if I wasn't recording, it would be brilliant, I promise you. And I actually should have done that before I put the gem in the center, because I don't really want my little gem covered, do I? Well, you can see a little bit there perhaps. Another option, I'll try this, is Spectrum Noir. Can't think what they're called. It's the glitter pens, basically. Can't think what they're called. But it is from Spectrum Noir. And I doubt very seriously that you're going to be able to see this. Oh, but it does just add a really pretty iridescence to our flower edges. And you know what actually I could do? Don't have to just splatter it, do I? I could just paint directly on the edges, couldn't I? Yeah, that works. That works. See, it's all just about experimentation, just trying things. And, you know, as I was saying to somebody the other night, you know, sometimes our very best creations, our most beautiful creations, come from making mistakes. So, you know, even when you think, oh, I've ruined it, you know, take a different attitude. Think, well, what can I do? what can I do to make it a bit better, to change it up? And, you know, sometimes it's the very best thing you've ever made. Oh, actually, I think that looks pretty nice. Very good. So here is one that I did use one of our little pearl and blingy centers for. And there's one with the brad. This one's still drying. And here are more examples. I've not put centers in these yet, but you've seen lots of options. So there's loads of things we can do with these. You have so many options. Just have fun with it. And guys, I hope whether you are in America, you know, enjoying Thanksgiving with your friends and family, or anywhere else in the world, I hope that you'll take just a minute to think about what you have to be thankful for. You know, no matter how difficult things are and how bleak things look, you can always find something to be thankful for. There's always something good in your life. Sometimes you just have to look a little bit harder for it. So I'm wishing you love and happiness and happy crafting. I will talk to you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Ha, tricked you. I'm actually back for a second because I thought of something that I wanted to tell you. This is the paper towel, or here in the UK, kitchen roll, that I use to mop up the colors. And actually, give me a moment, mop up the gold paint. But this, look how pretty that is. I hope you can see the colors on camera like I can see them here. Can't see the gold very much, just a little bit. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I think it's absolutely lovely. And I don't see why you couldn't use these just like we use the napkins for decoupage, to make a background for pockets or journaling cards, tags, whatever. I don't see why you couldn't use this just like you use the napkins for decoupage. So you don't even have to throw those away. I have some other pretty ones. Look how vibrant that is from earlier. Oh, and I think with that, with those wrinkles that have dried in there, I think that would make a really nice background for a tag or journaling card, wouldn't it? So don't throw your paper towels away when you're mopping up your colors. All right. Take care, guys. I'm really going this time. Love you lots. Happy crafting.